Hello. Thank you very much. Yeah, at some point, these contests and events and things that keep you busy on the game seem to come fast and furious, but at some point I'll do that. So these matches with Bruno and this Blitz take about 15 seconds each. If it didn't take so long to load to get from match to match to match, you might actually have a shot at hitting some of these higher end milestones in this event, but to get from the end of one match to the start of the next takes longer than the matches themselves do. No, the HLF guys are going to be enhanced by Hall of Fame tokens only. So if you think you're going to be getting some of these guys, either now or in the future, you should try and get as many of these milestones and get from the prize wall the tokens you think you're going to need, because Hall of Fame characters are going to only be enhanced and involved with those tokens. So these aren't going to be the only 4 Hall of Fame characters they release. I'm sure they will do like they do with zombies. Once or twice a year they'll have a Hall of Fame event and release some new characters, but just because you didn't get Sting or Lita or Booker now doesn't mean you won't need those tokens in the future. Like, they're not going to go to waste. You just won't be able to use them all the time. Yeah, they're all turn 1 wins, Ash. It's a turn 1 blitz. The 4 matches of the blitz with Bruno takes about between 3 and 4 minutes. So what I've been doing is just doing the 10 legend blitzes with Bruno, and then switch over to zRock and do the 10 modern blitzes, because the tickets keep going. When you use one legend, it goes to modern. When you use one modern, it goes to legend. So I've just been doing them in series of 10, go through all 10 and then switch and go through all 10 of the other. And I think I've found a system where both guys are turn 1, the matches are fast, and just crank these out. Yeah, I've bought a few items from the prize wall. I got Booker, so I immediately bought his Hall of Fame strap. A colleague in my faction, Jay-Z, had a suggestion. You know, should we buy the straps for Lita and Hall of Fame Sting as well, even though we didn't get them, so that when you get them in the future, you've already got the straps. They don't cost that much of your ingots, so it's a curious notion. We'll just see how many other items I want. I need to get from that prize ball. I appreciate that, William. I'm going to be doing character videos again in the future, but it probably won't be the characters that are going to preview ones that are released in that particular month. I'm no longer a part of that program to get those characters to do the previews. So I'll do videos of guys once I get them, videos of guys who I've enhanced and brought up to a certain level, who maybe we haven't seen in a while, or we've seen at lower levels, or maybe I've found a different way to play them. But as far as, hey, this character's coming out later this week, here's a look at him, I probably won't be doing any more of those. So I don't know if anyone's had a watch going on this blitz, but we're coming to the end of my second blitz on this stream, and I've only been up for about 8 minutes. Oh, hey, Benny. Everyone has their own style, man. We certainly can't all have Gerson's subscriber base, that's for sure. Right, Benny? If I could get to half of what he's got, I would be pretty pleased. So we're on to our third blitz. We're into about minute 10 of this stream now. We've already got 2 blitzes down. Yeah, that's what I explained, Benny, that even though you might not have gotten any Hall of Fame characters in this go-around, certainly not wrong to have and store those tokens, because they'll come in handy down the line. Benny, I'd love to get your thoughts on what Jay-Z and my faction suggested. What would you think? Let's say you only got one of the Hall of Fame characters this month. Let's say you only got Booker. You didn't get Lita or Sting. Do you think it would be maybe a smart investment to grab Lita and Sting's straps from the prize wall this month and hold on to them for if you get enough shards or get the posters down the road when they do Hall of Famers again? I don't think it's a dumb idea. And worst case scenario, you've got Hall of Fame straps that if you really needed to in a pinch, you could sell them for those strap parts to use to reinforce other belts. I think they only cost about 150k ingots or something to get them, so might not be a bad idea. So I think to answer your question, pull loot. Bruno is still level 1, but I've maxed his red moves, and the rest of my lineup is pretty much fodder. So I've got Sting and Ken Shamrock on him, so with the Blitz perks, both of his red moves are turn 1. So you do the bleed move first, and then you do the sub, and these matches last 15 seconds each. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the straps, Benny. To buy their straps from the store. Even if you didn't get the characters, just to be able to have the straps so that when the next Hall of Fame contest comes around and they release some more characters, and maybe it's a little easier to get Lita and Sting down the road, you've already got their strap. So that's 3 blitzes down in about 12 minutes. Maybe a little less. Like I said, we're doing these until we're out of legend tickets. Then we switch over to the modern ones, then do those 10, and restock our tickets. We just swap them back and forth. So 3 more to do here in the Legends category. Should take about another 9 or 10 minutes, and then we'll switch over to zRock on the modern side, where he's very similar. He's a little less reliable, zRock, in that I'm starting with the yellow move charged, and it destroys red gems. So you need to have a certain number of red gems on the board in order to fill those other 2 and finish the guys off, but it usually works out. The odd time you might take 1 hit from Macho or Hogan at the end of that blitz and need to use 1 health pack to get back in the next blitz, but more often than not you this is what slows the blitz down sometimes. Might need to reload the game. Or just wait for connection error, and then it comes back, and there we go. So just to show you what I've got going on Bruno here. So you can see, actually he's level 2. Okay, so he's level 2. But I've got full moves on the reds. So they're doing the damage. The bleed move is 13k per turn. And then I've got the 2 red MP trainers on there, Sting and Shamrock, which gets both of those reds charged on turn 1. So that's why he's turn 1. And the rest of my blitz lineup, as you saw when I started the blitz, is low level guys in order to keep the opponents low. So this is more than enough damage to win on turn 1 every time. Sometimes I get out ahead of myself and try to lay my sub gems before the sub starts. Do it again. And it's not really crucial because it's a 5-turn sub where you put your sub gems, because the most it takes to get rid of the opponents at this level is 2 doses of the bleed and sub combo. So if you spread them apart like that, they're not breaking 3 sub gems in 2 turns. 4 blitzes done. There's my lineup. So I have a lot more fodder on the modern side than I do the legends, but that's as low a lineup as I can get for the legends. But it's low enough for Bruno to get the job done. It almost makes me want to keep Bruno at this level and not take him up, even though I think he's one of the best techs in the game. But to be able to cruise through blitzes like this, it's a pretty great tool to have. So it kind of makes me want to keep him right down where he is. I've been able to complete every tour of this Hall of Fame event so far. It's one of those months where I've had every required character at a level to be able to complete them. But the one that came out today is the one that I'll be struggling the most to finish Hell Note, the Gallows. I just don't have him up at a high level yet. Yeah, I've done the Booker special tour and the Booker and Stephanie victory tours. I did that on a stream the other night. I did all of those tours on that stream. I think that was on the stream where my son jumped on and started spamming the chat, which was pretty funny. How high is my Booker? 3-star gold, but not level beyond that. I think he's level 100. 3-star gold moves maxed. He's a killer, even at that level. Now, I understand fully that the bonus, 30% bonus for him this month, damage-wise, is going to come off when this event ends. But the damage that those power gems do is insane. And I still think he's going to be a top, if not the top striker moving forward. Yeah, I'm going to take him as high as he'll go, Jordan. I've got enough tokens to take him right to 4-star gold. Maybe Benny can answer that question. So the tokens, yeah, I think we already did answer that question. There's no rush to evolve Booker as high as we can go before the end of this event, right? Like those tokens we've got and we can take them up. So there's another blitz done. How many more we got to do here? Before we switch over, one more ticket left of the Legends. So we'll do that and then switch over to the Modern and get our 10 Legends tickets back. Yeah, so he's at 30% now, but he keeps 10, right? He loses 20%. Yeah. He'll have a 10% bonus forever. There are no dumb questions, George. Please fire away any questions you guys might have or comments. Especially when we have Benny on the line here. It's like a 2-for-1 deal here. Benny is also a fountain of information for... You did damage on this trap. I did defense on this trap, so... I only unlocked two of his metal slots so far, though. So once I get enough strap parts from these blitzes to unlock the other two, I'll be able to maximize Booker's belt strap. Sorry, they don't like us to say belt. I didn't get any more Hall of Famers. Booker's the only one I got. Benny's played with them all, so he can probably answer. I think Sting is a pretty decent showboat. I don't know where I would slot him, just because I haven't had the opportunity to play with him, but I think he's... Yeah, but they're fixing that, right, Benny? Like, you're only going to be able to use 2 per... other than the takedown ones, which are 4. They're not going to let you stack. I think they released that in the community update, right? So they're going to make it so that the max you can do is 20% defense, 20%. Yeah, from what it seems to me, Booker's the best of the Hall of Famers. You can make a case that Lita is a very, very, very high-ranked female, just because you've got someone with the moveset and damage level of a Jimmy Uso against the female division, who don't have a lot of super hard hitters to be able to kick out of moves like that. So I think Lita is probably a high-ranked woman, but I think Booker was and is the class of this month's contest. I mean, that said, we haven't seen Eddie yet, and Eddie... you know, usually the last character they release every month, especially a surprise one like this, is pretty overpowered, so we'll see. I can see him being a trickster and, you know, Eddie being a submission guy. I could see something silly, like, you know, a quick submission, like a 5-charge sub that puts out like 12 sub-gems, and if the opponent breaks any sub-gems, they become trap gems that extend your submission by 1 or 2 turns or something. You know, like something crazy like that, where you could just get, you know, not like Zombie Awesome where you get stuck in a stun loop, but you get stuck in a submission loop that would never end. Shamrock, Rob. Shamrock adds one extra red gem at a certain level. He adds 2 yellows and 1 red. So I was just missing that 1 red on Bruno's second move, so Shamrock gets him to both red moves full. So I think that was the last of the Legend Blitz. We don't have any more Legend tickets left. So we'll switch over to Modern. We'll pay our cost to get Sting moved over here. Now here's my Blitz, so it's all fodder except Sammy. Sammy's the lowest one I could put. I want to remove him, but apparently now you can't do it anymore by leaving your faction and coming back in. I did that earlier today. Cost myself a purple coin expedition, came back into the faction, my blitz lineup was the same. It usually clears your blitz lineup, and it's the only way to fix it, unless there are required slots that you can, move guys around in. But because these are all open modern slots, when you try to move one guy, the other guy just replaces him. So I have to leave Sammy there. I would take him out otherwise. But yeah, it's all fodder. And so this is Sting and Wade Barrett on zRock. And unless there are very few reds on the board at the start, we'll see how this goes. He usually gets through on turn 1. Sometimes he needs that second turn against Hogan, but we'll see. The dilemma here is I would take Barrett off and put a yellow or red move damage trainer on him, but just destroying the 3 yellows instead of 7. If you only get 3, even with Sting, it leaves that finisher 1 charge short. They're never going to give us stuff for free now that you would normally need to use resources or cash for. No. So, no. They're not going to give out gears that way. I just wish they would make some of the gears after a certain amount of time actually obtainable with the coat hanger tokens that we all have that we can never use now. I mean, I just wish they would make. So what if it takes 100,000 tokens to get one of them, right? You would save up for them and you would use them. But the fact that we can't use those coat hangers anymore, why do we still have them? Why do we still get them in lock boxes and stuff like that if we can never use them? No, I'm no longer part of the group doing previews. Benny, who was on the stream, he might still be on. He's still part of that group, and the guys who do that do a really nice job. But I don't get the preview characters anymore. So when I do videos on specific characters, it'll be once they've already been released, once I've already had them, once I know how to play with them, and I can still do videos that way. But I'm enjoying the streaming. I enjoy having these discussions as we play through. So we'll see. Benny is still here, so again, a rare opportunity to have 2 guys who have used a lot of characters in this game to be able to ask questions and get some feedback as we try to blitz our way through some of these milestones. So the reason I am where I am in this contest and needing to do all of these blitzes to get more milestones is I don't have Hogan and I don't have Kofi. So that left me, with 70,000 less points than a lot of other people. I do have Mr. T, Snow Girl, but well, there's Brian and Davey D and Zeke. They're also doing those videos. So because we got a pin there, that's why we're not turn 1 on Hogan here. So we get turn 2. So the title of my blitz is Lies. It's turn 1/sometimes 2 blitzing. But if you don't cause a pin, you can get Hogan on turn 1. Yeah, so it's Benny, Gerson, Brian, DJ, Zeke, Davey D, and for any of our fans out there who sprechen Sie Deutsch, German, there's Christian on air as well. who does those videos. So that was another quick blitz. I think so far we've been on for about just over half an hour, and I think we've done like 7 blitzes. So that cost us 1 HP because of the pin on Hogan. And I've actually seen a couple of fledgling guys out there who are starting to make videos, and I'm glad there's more popping up, because the more information and entertainment we can get out of this game, the better. So yeah, the YouTube search is your friend, and you can usually find some guys out there. The good thing is you've got a big cross section of styles and techniques when it comes to these preview videos. Benny is super entertaining. He has a ton of fun with his guys, and I love that Benny does streams where we can chat like this. Gerson, of course, has the most influence with and on Scopely, and his videos are very, very informative, and he has a ton of guys, so he's never short on trainers. Ricochet was turn 1 on every match for me, but he just takes too long because you have to use all 3 moves with Ricochet. With Bruno and zRock here, you're only using 1 or 2 moves to get these turns done. So I was doing blitzes with Ricochet in about 4.5 to 5 minutes, and using zRock, I've cut that down by about a minute and a half per blitz. So when you're talking about needing to do 500 blitzes, you know, that's 4 or 5 hours you're cutting off of the time to get to those final milestones when you're doing that much faster. So yeah, I was using my 4-star gold Ricochet earlier, but this is faster. Except when Macho kicks out of that. It depends what level you're talking about. I think up to and including 4-star silver, I think Ray is better, especially Ray with 1 or both of his gears. I think Ray has the edge right up to 4-star silver. When you get to 4-star gold, the edge swings to Ricochet. Ricochet is an absolute killer at 4-star gold, and I think is the best acro at 4-star gold. But up till then, I prefer Ray. The thing that makes Ricochet jump over them is that red move at gold goes from increase your multiplied gems by 1 to increase your multiplied gems by 2. So he puts 4s on the board with Matt, and at 4-star bronze and silver, he changes them to times the bronze and silver. So another pin on Hogan that's going to cost us another HP or 2 here. But still a quicker match than using Ricochet's 3 moves, finding a column, changing those, putting out those greens. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any realistic hope that I'm going to max. Because like I said, where I was when I finished my required characters, I needed to do 516 blitzes. to max. 516. That's 2,064 matches. Even if you averaged 1 minute per match, that's 34.5 hours of blitzing required to max without using any loot coins. So I don't see reaching that final milestone as even close to realistic. But, you know, we'll see. I would like to get all the medals and strap parts that are available on the milestones. Even if I got to the second last milestone, that Legends token doesn't do much for me because I've got all those guys, so I would either just be getting shards to level up some moves, or I guess I would get the Hogan shards for, you know, I've got 500 or so now, so a couple hundred more Hogan shards might be the way to go, and just slowly chip away at recruiting him shard by shard. So that's probably, if I went really hard for the next 2 days, all I could get to. And I'll make that decision then. But being able to do these blitzes so quickly with these two characters is certainly making it a little more realistic to get some of those higher end milestones knocked off. It would be tough once I got up to that level. If by some dream scenario I made it to that final milestone and got that token, what I would do with it. Because now someone has told me that these gears are now stacking. For example, the Stone Cold with his one gear that adds damage to the sub, and then the Santa gear, which adds turns to the sub. Those are stacking now. So it would be really, really tempting to get that Ray gear, because I've already got the one. If you could get that second gear that increases the power of the multiply gems stacked on top of his other gear, he would give Ricochet a run for his money, I think. In the acrobat category. Plus, I need another new character like I need a hole in the head, to be honest. Let's say I acquired Tech Black or Kofi. Like, I've got a dozen guys who I want to level right now, and they all need like 20 million coins apiece. So, you know, you could give me 1 billion coins right now and I could spend them before dinner. So I'm not one of those guys who, you know, is just trying to collect everyone. I'm not a Pokemon, gotta catch them all, right? I want to make the guys that I like and who I have and who are my best that much better. It would probably be stupid to get a gear over a new character. It might be stupid. But I've been known to make stupid decisions in this game. So once again, we're getting unlucky on Hogan here with these pins. But 1 HP is 1 HP. The match is still done. Click. I could put Mr. T, like I think I was saying that before I thought of something else. My Mr. T is still low level. He doesn't have the trainer. He doesn't have that second trainer ability yet. I don't have him high enough Otherwise, yes, I would be using him on Zombie Rock instead of Barrett. But maybe I could put on someone who does one less gem than Barrett, like Vader. And maybe it'll give me less of a chance to cause a pin, but still fill that red move. Because how many do I need to destroy? I need to destroy 4 to fill that finisher, right? For Mr. T, ideally, I think you want Orndorff. I was using Mr. T on some Legends builds earlier before I found Bruno's turn 1 ability. I was using Orndorff and Waller? And he was getting the job done, but he wasn't as reliable as Bruno. Bruno's just, there's no way it can't be turn 1. Bruno was a guaranteed turn 1, no HP, 3-minute blitz. Yeah, Orndorff puts out more immobile gems on that first turn. And then the second move that's full in turn 1 in this blitz destroys them. And usually finishes the match. And what you want to do on that first turn is put them on blues. Put your immobile gems on blues and then destroy the blues to fill that second move if you need it. See, the thing with even cascades like that, at this level, because he's level 1, those cascades are doing next to no damage, so causing a pin is bad. So let's see if I can split the difference on my dilemma here. Let's see if I can find someone who destroys less red gems, but still fills my red move, and maybe causes a pin less frequently. I think Vader. I was negative when they first come out, but I see how useful they are now. They're worth learning to spend time on to figure them out. Basically just sell all the things you don't think you're going to use to acquire points to enhance the ones that you are. Destroy. Let's see if 3 does it. Maybe Mr. T would work if I destroyed 4. Let's see. No, I mean, straps and medals are easy to acquire for everybody. So how many do I need? I need 4. So Mr. T would do the 4 and cause less pins. So if this causes a pin, maybe I'll use Mr. T next time. See, that's the ideal scenario. Fill your red, turn 1. So because I only need 4 reds, Mr. T might be the safest just to get those 4 and 4 only. You were right, Snow Girl. I was wrong. zRock is level 1, but I just have his 2 moves maxed. Here, I'll show you. So he's level 1 with the just 1 move max, that yellow move. That's all you need, because the rest of my lineup is fodder. So the blitz opponents are kept low. So all I've put into my zRock so far is yellow TP. No, probably. I don't know. I've got other powerhouse priorities right now. I've got Bree. Bree, who I want to take up to gold. She's at silver right now. And who's the other one I was using the other day who I want to take up? Oh, Angle. I just got Kurt Angle, so I want to get him to gold. Then I'll worry about zRock. But if he can do this in blitzes for me, sometimes it's wise to keep 2 or 3 guys who you know can just completely bust blitzes for you. And because if you can break a blitz and do them fast and get them done and cost you little time and a little HP, that's with the amount of blitzes we get these days, that's a valuable commodity. I don't know. I mean, they've seemingly got an endless supply of characters they could release. As long as people are playing and spending, I'm sure the game will keep going on. If they get to a point where they just keep introducing things nobody wants and turn people away, especially the people who are financing the game, it could become extinct, but there doesn't seem to be any signs of that happening right now. They usually reach a low, or, you know, once in every year this game. I think we've got to the point where everybody thought, okay, they're trying to kill it. They're just doing things to intentionally drive people away because they want to move on to something else. But I don't think we're there yet. So this is working a lot better. Let's see what it does against Hogan. Unless there's only 3 reds on the board, this should work more often than not. I think it's a lot easier to play now if you're starting now than when you were starting before, just because of the assets you can obtain and using those those pulls in the loot area, the premium characters and the 2-star characters and 3-star premium. There's some good people in there, and I think the way these events are structured and just finishing some lower milestones, you're getting a lot more of the assets you need to level up lower characters than you were when the game started. I thought about a project to do a series of videos of basically creating a second account, starting from scratch and being completely F2P, and see how far I could get before hitting that first real wall where you're like, there's nothing more I can do, you know, without getting the, you know, well, maybe I'll just get that Andre pack, starter pack, or I'll get the Daniel Bryan starter pack, or let me just, you know, but it'd be interesting to do an experiment on a series of videos to see if I started from scratch, and if I managed to get into the bottom end of a semi-decent faction where you were getting some faction rewards and things like that, on how efficiently you can increase your roster. Yeah, it is, George, but it's also, you'd want to dedicate a lot of time and effort to it. But the way these monthly contests go, you're so busy on a day-to-day basis maintaining your primary place in the game that to dedicate the amount of time to do that little project would certainly take away from the other part of your game. But you're right, having missed out on some of the characters who are no longer available, or who were easy to get back in the day but are harder to get now, would be the biggest drawback, right? But the thing that happens now that has never happened, you know, in the early stages of the game was it wouldn't be all that difficult if you were starting now. It wouldn't take you all that much time before you had all the MP trainers. I don't think. Because it seems like those guys are available in rewards and in the premium loots that you earn tokens for. I don't think it would be as hard to get a Steel and a Woods and a Lawler and a Sting as it was before. Like, it took me forever to get Jerry Lawler. It just made me insane that I had some great guys who needed blue, and I just couldn't get Jerry Lawler. And now I think I have about 5,000 Jerry Lawler shards. So I've lost count of the number of blitzes we've done, but we're at the 57-minute mark of our stream here. Yeah, I agree about the AOP, but those original MP trainers, the Steels and Woods and Lawlers and Stings and Bros are no problem. But you're right, Akam and Rizar are are the two tougher ones now. I think the increase in the announced increase that they just announced in the community update to the lower levels of the daily tours and the Dean's dailies, or Dead Man's dailies, I still call them Dean's dailies, will help. I think if you searched for levels to farm for TP and coin now, to avoid some of the medals, they're out there. We've got a list, certainly, of levels where you can just farm coin, TP, and tokens, and you don't get any medals. It's actually on some of the normal and hard levels now, whereas it used to be you wanted to farm on as high a level as you can get. But those are just jammed with medals now, so you don't farm the coin and TP as easily as you used to. But usually I think there's a lot of levels in the European tour, in the Madrids and Berlins and stuff like that, where you can farm and still get good amounts of TP and coin and the tokens. I think my next milestone that I get to is some of those level 4 medals. Check and see after this how many blitzes I am away from that. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, so this is working a lot better. Only destroying the 4 red gems instead of 7 is causing a lot less pins against the guys who we don't get enough damage to kill. And just by getting that finisher off is ending these matches without taking any damage. So thank you for the suggestion to switch to Mr. T. Just to give everybody a heads up, we've been having some internet connectivity issues at my house that I've got an appointment to try and take care of a little later in the week. But if the stream suddenly goes down and I'm not here anymore, it's because my network has disappeared for a period of time again. So just to be forewarned. I think I've got about another 30 to 45 minutes on here before I go pick up my son and start our evening routine, and then we'll see about maybe jumping on again later and doing a bunch more of these blitzes and trying to knock off another milestone or two. So where are we now? 195 out of 242. 242, 2 minus 195, 2. 242, 200. Hi, Jacob. I'm on my way. Bye. So I don't have 30 or 45 more minutes. I'm going now. What was the amount? 195.2. 242, 2 minus 195.2. So I need 47,000. I get 750 per blitz. That's 62 more blitzes to get the next milestone. That's a lot. Anyway, my son has called and I'm on my way to get him now, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again another time.